Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of the New Studio podcast. My name is Munira, and today we've got a special guest. We've got Yazmin. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, you are.
Do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, your interests, your hobbies, things that you like?
Okay, so I'm Yazmin, and my main interests are fashion, styling, sustainability, a little bit of environmentalism, just all that good stuff.
I love it. So I recently came across your famous TikTok.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And do you want to tell the viewers a bit about the TikTok and your thoughts behind it? I absolutely loved it because it was like a day in a life thing.
Yeah, which I've never done before, really.
Yeah. What made you want to put that out there?
So I was made redundant on a random Tuesday morning. My manager just woke up in a silly, goofy mood and was like, we're going to make the whole marketing team redundant.
Oh, God.
So it was effective immediately. And I woke up the Wednesday after and just had this really weird, empty feeling. It was so bizarre. I was like, all of those projects that I was working on Monday and Tuesday morning, just completely invalid and irrelevant now. It felt like I had no purpose because I guess your 9 to 5 can so easily become your whole identity, your whole life and everything. Absolutely. That you just...
It can consume you.
That's
to the point where it becomes like a part of your identity.
Exactly. Like when I would meet people, the first thing people always say is, "Oh, so what do you do?"
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, so that's a huge part of why it becomes your identity.
Why can't you ask me how's your day? How are you feeling?
What am I interested in?
Yeah.
Just little commonalities like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I woke up on the Wednesday just feeling really lost, and I was in bed, and I would have stayed in bed, but I just thought I have to get up and I have to get out. And it was a really nice day, so I thought I'll just go for a run.
Yeah. Clear
my mind.
Yeah.
And I always say do something for 2 minutes, and then if you hate it, stop. But by the 2-minute point, you're already in it, and you just kind of forgotten.
Kind of like the adrenaline is rushing.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, I'm out now. I'm enjoying myself. And I just carried it on. And I thought, do you know what? Let me just make a little vlog of this because I've got nothing better to do with myself. Let me live free. I've got so much freedom. Let me live out this 12-year-old Yazmin's dream of being a YouTuber. So I just vlogged my boring little day.
But it wasn't boring though, because for me, when I saw it, it just made me see that you do so many other things. Yeah. Because sometimes what we do is we feel sorry for ourselves.
Yeah.
When we're let go of a job or we're going through a breakup or something tragic happens to us, we just literally
wallow in the pissy.
Yeah.
I know. If there's one person that wallows, it's me. I feel sorry for myself.
We are all guilty of doing that, and it's just it's normal to do that. So you vlogged it. So you went for a run.
I went for a run, and my flatmates, I'm very fortunate that they're both freelancers, so they're both actors, so they're fun employed. So my flatmate, one of them was actually traveling for 6 weeks, but she was coming back that day. And as I was returning home, she was coming in. My other flatmates cooked brunch, so it was just really nice. I was like, oh,
so nice.
The gang's back together. It's just what I needed on that day. And then, we just had a huge catch up.
That's lovely.
And then we cooked. So one of my flatmates is just obsessed with vegan lasagna, and she'll cook it at least 3 times a week.
So talk me through it. That sounds really nice.
It's really good. And the funny thing is, lasagna takes so long to cook, but as a fun employed person, you've got so much time.
Oh my God, that's so... So you were like, does she know the recipe, or you guys on YouTube
so she just... It's like a usual lasagna recipe, but you swap out the meat for a vegan mince and mushrooms and peppers as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
You've got all the time to be Jamie Oliver.
Exactly. So we were chefing it up, and then we thought, do you know what? I moved into the flat in this summer.
Okay.
And I was like, we haven't actually had a sit down dinner together once.
Look at that.
And it's so weird just because I'm so busy with my 9 to 5, and then they would be busy working on whatever they were working on. Like they travel a lot for their job, so they're not in that much. I was just like, this is such a rare occurrence. Like we're all here together. I was just like,
that's so
this
lovely.
is such a beautiful time. It's so nice. And then I just vlogged that, and then I just put it out onto the internet. I don't think I used any like hashtags or anything. I was just thinking, let me just document this for me to look back on.
And the universe just found so many people that actually resonated. And
the algorithm was strong.
Yeah. Seriously, I was one of them, because I was like watching it, and then it just made me realize like we sometimes need to just take time out to enjoy life, because we get so busy with like going after jobs and all these different things, but sometimes it's so nice to just be able to take that time out,
breathe.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was like, that was the nicest Wednesday I think I've had in the 2 years. I just did exactly what I wanted to do on my own terms, and I didn't have to worry about some silly meeting about some silly numbers.
Absolutely.
That are just so irrelevant to my life now. It's so mad that like those numbers would keep me up at night sometimes.
Really?
And that's just crazy to think. And it's just...
But when you applied for that job, taking it back, was it something that you were passionate with at that time?
Yes, 100%. So I'll just tell you my life story really quickly. So
just run us through it.
I've got time. So I graduated from uni, and I decided I was with a boyfriend at the time who I'd been with for about 4 years, and I thought
it's a long-term relationship.
Yeah, at that age, like from 17, I was like, this is who I'm going to spend my life with.
Oh my God.
And it just got weird. Like I graduated uni, I was feeling a bit lost, and I'd saved all this money because I worked throughout the whole of uni as well. I was a waitress, and I got good tips. I worked hard. So I had a few grand saved up, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go travel, because that's just what I want to do, and that what feels right to me.
Talk me through the countries you've been to.
So I did Latin America. So I started off like very south, sort of Peru sides, and just worked my way all the way up to Central America of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was amazing, but it came with a cost. So my boyfriend at the time was like, you are so silly to throw this money away on traveling. Like you could put this towards a mortgage. Like we could like really use this. And I was just like, okay, we're on completely different wavelengths here. So I made the decision to split. We broke up, and it was hard. It was weird because...
What was the most difficult part of that for you?
I think losing your best friend. It's sort of, you like, even if like the love wasn't there towards the end, and there was sort of more resentment of like, I want to go do this, you want to go do that. It's just sort of like you wake up and I don't know, something happens, and that's the first person you think of that you want to tell.
You get that realization.
Exactly. So that was tough, but the sadness went away as I was traveling. I was like, this is the best decision of my life. I'm having the best time of my life.
At what point did you like realize that you were starting to feel better about the breakup? And
Peru was hard. So I'd gone out there and I'd booked a tour, like a group tour.
Yeah.
And for the first 4 nights, I was in a hostel by myself, and I spoke barely any Spanish. I did basically GCSE level. And everyone in the hostel happened to be also from South America, and they were just traveling through.
And they were just fluent.
They were all fluent, and they spoke a little bit English. So they were talking to me here and there, but I was just so lonely. And I remember actually crying on my first night, and I was like, have I made the worst decision of my life?
Yeah.
Fast forward a few days, went on this group tour, had a great time. And yeah, it was about 3 weeks traveling Peru, and I was like, I'm not ready to go home. So I text my mum.
Like the travel bug.
The travel bug bit me. So I text my mum. I said, I'm not coming home. And then that happened.
Yeah.
Until fast forward 4 months. Was I away 4 months in the end?
Look at that. You did.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, did you just realize?
Yes. So because I remember I kept pushing my flight back and changing the like location. I said to my mum, I'm definitely going to be home for Christmas.
And was that the first time that you've really, outside of like, because you went to uni, but that you've spent taking time out for yourself?
Yes, 100. And that's the like true independence. Like I don't have my mum there to call and be like, Mum, I need this, can you sort this for me? So I said, yeah, I'll be back for Christmas, because we're a close-knit family. It's just me, her, and my brother. And I was like, Christmas sucks anyway. Like I have to be
away
there.
From home,
Exactly. And then Christmas came around.
And you didn't want to come?
I was like, Mum, like I was crying. No. I called her crying, and I was like, Mum, are you going to think I'm the worst person if I just don't come home for Christmas? She's like, baby girl, like do your thing. I can see this is the happiest you've been in a long time.
Love a supportive parent.
Honestly. And then I didn't come home until just before my birthday, end of January. Anyway, I was on such a tangent. What was I saying? What was it? What was I saying before I just told you that? Oh, you said how, so that was my dream job. Okay,
Yeah.
so came home from traveling, the pandemic started to hit.
Okay.
It wasn't too serious. I was like, okay, let me get a job because I've got no money now. I've just graduated, just traveled. Let me get a job.
Yeah.
Landed a job in a PR firm. That's what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
2 days into the job, sent home. The pandemic's getting worse. We need to work from home
Yeah.
until further notice.
Did you like working from home?
So I worked from home for about 3 days,
Yeah.
just being trained up. And then they put me on furlough,
Okay.
which was the government scheme to pay employees just to see them through because we just couldn't work in the
Yeah.
pandemic, as everyone knows. Fast forward about 10, 11 months, I was on furlough the whole time.
So that 11 months, what did you do? Anything creative?
So,
Did
yes,
you-
I bought a sewing machine off Facebook Marketplace for about £30.
Did you ever sewn before that?
No.
I love this.
It's just, I don't know. I have this really conceited thing about myself where I'm just like, I look at something, I'm like, I could do that.
But I love that, like that confidence.
I think it's arrogance.
No, it's confidence because it's like you're putting your mind to something.
Yeah.
And you're doing it. So you bought a sewing
I bought a
machine
sewing
from Facebook
machine. It
Marketplace.
literally only had 2 stitches, like a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch.
Okay, I don't know anything about sewing, so I won't.
There's like, so on my sewing machine now that I have, there's
Yeah.
about, I think, 190 different stitches that you
Okay.
can do.
You've progressed.
I've progressed to say the least. But that sewing machine is held dearly in my heart because I taught myself how to sew just from YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is the plug. Anything you can
So
find
you
on
wait,
there for
hold
free.
on. You actually learned how to sew.
I learned how to
From
sew.
YouTube.
But do you know what people say? Like, it's so hard. And maybe I'm saying this because I know how to do it now, but you just put 2 bits of fabric together and you just run
See,
it through the machine.
I remember when I was like 16 and I was like, I saw all these people making garments. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a fashion designer.
Yes.
Bought a sewing, like I bought a
You
sewing
bought one?
machine. And it just stayed in the cupboard. Like I didn't do anything with it.
That procrastination's strong. It's strong.
Yeah, and I think when I was 16, there was no YouTube tutorial.
Oh no, of course. See, I'm the
revealing
generation
my
that grew
age
up with
here,
the
but
internet.
yeah. Yeah, there was no YouTube or tutorial or
no.
TikTok tutorial, nothing. So I just, I epically failed. And then I was like, you know what, this is not for me.
It's not
Let
too
me
late.
just-
Yeah, okay, dust it
Absolutely
off.
not, no.
That's what you want to do, fashion designer.
I went to a painting session the other day
Yeah?
with my cousin. And we were just painting. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like painting these ceramics, right?
Did they have them in front of you or there was a photo?
So basically, you don't have nothing. Like, so you just buy the ceramics and then they give you the paint and you sit at a
Okay.
table. And
Oh
I-
wait, sorry, you were painting the ceramic.
The ceramic,
I thought you were
yeah.
painting on a canvas of
No,
the ceramics. Okay, you were
like,
painting.
It's actual,
Okay,
like,
nice.
pots and
Like
all
plates
these-
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got this plate and I'm thinking like, I'm so artistic. Like, I can do this, you know?
And you can, and you did.
Yeah, but then there was this girl that was sitting next to me and she was just so good. Like she was drawing all of these flowers and then I'll put the phone there and I'll Google how to draw a flower. It was epic fail.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun.
And comparison is the biggest thief of joy, honestly.
yeah.
Because how much fun were you having before you looked over at that other person?
I thought like, you know what, I'm really good at this.
You're the
Like, I'm gonna-
Picasso.
Yeah, I'm the Picasso. Like this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I'm looking at her like, oh, how is she doing that? And I'm like, I'm doing it on the side. She must have thought I was crazy.
No, she's really flattered. Like, it's nice, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, and then all her friend group was like all these painters, and they were doing all these amazing things with these.
The secret is they've probably been going for weeks. They've probably been that's their weekend activity. But that was your first time.
That was my first time.
Exactly.
And I was actually proud of myself at the end. I
As
was
you
like,
should
"You know
be."
what? I'm not so shabby after all.
You're not. And I'm sure if you carried that on, you would produce some stuff that you were really, really
I
proud
think
of.
you're being very kind with your words. I doubt that very lightly. But it was fun. Like I think what COVID has definitely, what it's definitely shown me is that now's the time to take out for things that we love. Like even if you're not good at it, just go out and do it.
Just do it. And I think so this is something that I've struggled with during the pandemic. So I taught myself how to sew, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
people were like, this is amazing, like you should sell this stuff. So I started to sell it.
Okay.
But then it was just like why, like, there was this pressure then to create these people because I had
Monetize
yeah,
it.
exactly. People were like, I want this. Can you make me this? Can you do this? I want one of these.
And it doesn't become fun anymore.
It sucked all the fun out of it, and it kind of sucked the sustainability out of it as well, because I was like, I can't keep up with the demands that you guys are asking for this. And it's like, you have to understand that there's just one person behind the sewing machine doing this. And then because of that, perhaps you don't want to pay £45 for a bag when you can go to Primark and spend £10. But it's like the difference in understanding that I've like had to go and get the materials.
But I think there's also a difference that we think that, oh, why don't they just go to Primark instead of getting it from me? But you're forgetting that you are creating a platform where people are invested in you as a person.
I guess, yeah.
And so if you're selling it at £45 and it's good quality, I'd rather support that than go to Primark where my money's just going to go to some CEO. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather support somebody who's actually crafted that and put the time and effort in. So don't knock yourself.
But you have to find a balance as well, because alongside the sewing, I really enjoy drawing. I'm not the best, but I do like, they look good and I like them, and other people like them. It's like artistic opinion, isn't it? And then like someone else was like, oh, like you should sell these too, and it's just like, do I have to monetize every hobby? Can I just not enjoy?
No, you're right, because I was reading a post on Humans of New York.
Okay.
And it was this gentleman who was a piano teacher.
Nice.
And he would teach kids from the projects how to play the piano because they couldn't afford,
of course,
to go to piano classes, and he was doing it in a community center. So this guy is like every Saturday, Sunday doing this, teaching kids from 13 to 19 how to do the piano, like play the piano.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a gentleman that came and was like, you're really good at this. You should make money of this and you should charge. And then he was like, his job was in IT.
Okay.
So he goes, my passion is this. My job allows me to have a house, pay for my bills, but I don't want to monetize this because this is my passion. And if it becomes work, I'm not going to enjoy it.
No.
But now social media will make you capitalize on everything.
Even like, I'm even just thinking like of those people that, so obviously I made the day in the life vlog, but I'm not like a huge like lifestyle influencer where people genuinely are monetizing their everyday.
Absolutely.
It's so strange.
It's like, I went to Starbucks, here's the car.
That is so weird. So I wrote my dissertation on like, because it was sort of the time that influencers were like up and coming, and I wrote my dissertation on how influencers monetize the everyday, or no, marketize the everyday was the word I used. And that was the exact same line that I proposed to my tutor when I said it. I was like, they go to Starbucks and they're like, this is me in my dress in my go to get my Starbucks. Yeah, that's literally exactly the phrase that I used to sell the theory of my dissertation. That is so interesting.
It. Great minds.
No, but I forgot I had even said that until like you just said that now.
Though. Like people will just like capitalize on, and they'll post everything, or like you'll go out to dinner with your friends and then they'll be like posting the whole thing.
But that used to be me. Like I will hold my hands up. That used to be like, I lived more online than I did in real life, and that's such a weird thing to say, but I was that person who would go out for brunch and then I'd be like, no, nobody can eat. Let me, yeah.
See, I'm the first person to eat.
That's me now. I've learned like,
the food's gonna get cold.
It's gonna get cold. Like I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to eat. Like there's such nonsense. But I think maybe that comes with age. Like it comes with growing up, and like that's something I've realized now. But yeah, back in uni days, I was so image online. I was so like, oh my god, everyone has to know like what I've had for breakfast today. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
That's so. Or do you know the thing is with me? It's like even if I go and I'll record it, right? Then I'll be on TikTok and then I'll see somebody record it even better, and I'm just like, what's going on? Because I went to Paris and I was meant to vlog. I took my camera, everything, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like put videos and pictures together, and then I just Googled, I hashtagged Paris. All these amazing videos, content creators came up, and I'm just like, I'm really bad at this. But I still had a good time in Paris. Like, so that shouldn't take away from the fact that I had an amazing time in Paris, but my mind is like, you're just not good enough.
That's such a shame though.
And your mind does do that because of social media. Like it does.
The pressure of it.
The pressure of social media is real. Like it really does affect you so much to the point where you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, what they're doing, what they're wearing, what they're eating.
I hate those what I eat in a day TikToks. I hate them so much.
Yeah, now.
I hate them so much because A, I don't actually care what you ate today. And B, that's not what you eat every day though, is it?
That's true.
That's like you on a good day that you remember to do your overnight oats.
Okay, so what do you eat on a bad day? Like, you know when you're one of those really bad days and you just don't feel so. What's
honestly,
your go-to food?
I'm the worst person to speak to about food. I've got the worst relationship with food. So I will go through, like today, I've only had one meal today because like I woke up, I went running, and then I came home, I fell asleep on the sofa in the sun.
Yeah.
I woke up, I made a like tofu scramble.
Relaxing day.
It was a gorgeous day. I feel brilliant. I had tofu scramble with toasted crumpets and half an avocado, and that's all I've had today. But I'm very much into.
But what's your like go-to food when you just need to be picked up and you just like, you know, like that comfort food?
Okay, comfort food.
Let's talk about comfort food.
What I'm about to get after we've finished here, for sure. I've been thinking about all day as well.
Okay.
There's this place called, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, Sambal Shiok. Do you know? Okay, so I think it's like Arsenal ways. And it is, I think it's Vietnamese. It's like a laksa. I think that's from Vietnam. So it's like think of a ramen, but curry. So like it's thick, creamy soup, like curry soup.
Okay.
And it's got noodles, it's got veggies, it's got tofu. Like it is.
I love it.
So delicious. I'll send you a photo later on. Honestly, and I'll send you the place because I highly recommend. Like nowhere does a better laksa. Oh. Sorry, just free promo there.
Free promo. We're giving out free promo.
That is my go-to. And the thing is, it's so hard to cook. So I think it probably makes like. With any cultural dish, there is so much love and time that goes into it. It takes about 24 hours for them to make. So at home, I'm just not even going to have these niche ingredients in my cupboard to be able to start on it. Also, no, I do have the time now, but I know what you mean.
It's just like you think to yourself, you won't make it the way that they will.
Exactly.
Make it.
It's like the same. Okay, my second go-to comfort food is dal makhni, like black lentil dal.
Okay.
So good.
Do you make it from scratch?
No, because again, so I think
Uber Eats.
Yeah, so Dishoom one, I think they released their recipe and it was about 27 hours cooking time.
27 hours?
Yeah, it's like but do you know what? It's true. Like, the food that takes really the longest, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. So those are my two go-tos, but again, we'll never cook at home because I don't have the time, I don't have the ingredients.
Yeah.
And these people do it so much better than me.
Okay.
What's yours?
My comfort food is literally milkshakes.
A milkshake
Flavor? Probably Lotus milkshake. And I'm lactose intolerant, so I shouldn't have it.
You're literally my friend Richie. I have not met a single lactose intolerant person that takes that seriously.
I don't take it seriously. And I have, funny thing is, when I go out to like Starbucks or Costa, I'll drink almond milk.
Okay, you'll do the swap.
Or oat milk. I love oat milk. But when it comes to a milkshake, you don't want oat milk in your milkshake. Your milkshake won't milkshake if you put oat milk in there.
It's just not gonna have that creamy.
It's just not gonna have it. No. So definitely is milkshake. Or like chips, like warm chips.
The one thing the Brits got right, chips.
Really warm chips.
Yeah.
And which is also not so good to have every day, but.
Who cares?
Who cares?
If it feels good.
Yeah, that's probably my comfort zone. Like makes me feel
good,
feel better.
Yeah,
and it just uplifts my soul.
I'm so glad you didn't sit here and say to me it was a salad because I would.
A salad?
There's nothing more depressing than a salad. And you know what? They're like not even that healthy by the time you've dressed it and everything anyway with the croutons.
You know what? A salad is like, that's not.
It doesn't hit the spot.
It doesn't. It just doesn't quite hit the spot. But for everyone who loves salad out there, we are not hating.
No, we're not. Kudos to you and your healthy lifestyle.
And your healthy lifestyle, literally.
I feel like you cry yourself to sleep, but.
Absolutely. Do you know, like when you see those people on TikTok and like they've got like these salads for breakfast or lunch? And
you're hungry an hour later because I've tried that.
Yeah.
I watch those what I eat in a life and I try to reciprocate it and I'm hungry.
You're like, I want food.
Like I need carbs. I need something of substance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think you should enjoy, like I'm a believer in enjoying food.
Yes.
And like you shouldn't like I remember I was watching this podcast, and then they were talking about like how to save money and how you shouldn't have like your Starbucks in the morning, it's £3 or £4, and that £4 will turn it into X, Y, and Z.
And then you can buy a house.
And then you can buy a house. I'm like, no, actually, I'm gonna have that cost in the morning because it makes me happy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
you should never cut it out.
It's the small things in life that you shouldn't really, cut out.
No, and I think something about British culture is I think I noticed this when I was a waitress, and the like floor manager would have this rule, like tables of 2 had to be in and out within 45 minutes.
What?
Yeah, that was a rule. Like if you're not turning tables,
but in those 45 minutes, like I've only just sat down.
So as soon as they've sat down, you're over there like, what can I get you to drink? They've ordered the drink. You bring the drinks over. What can I get
I
you
hate
to eat?
when that happens.
And it's this whole rush.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
And then they've finished eating, you clear the plates as soon as they've put the knife and fork down together, and then you bring the dessert menu.
Do you know what happens to me when that happens? So when they do that, like, and they bring the receipt, and then I'm like, okay, I need to pay because I'll feel guilty.
Of course,
because I'll be like, oh my god, do they think I'm poor that I'm not gonna pay for my food?
No, it's psychological, and we know that's how you'll react, and that's how we do it to get you out. So
I'm like, here's, and then they'll be like, okay, and I'm like, okay, and then they'll bring you a receipt, but then it won't pay you the paying machine.
And
then they'll come back with the paying machine, and then it looks like I'm poor, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? And it's just anxiety.
No, it's all a psychology thing, but then after like waitressing in the UK for a bit, and then I would travel to like France or Italy, the culture is so different. You can sit in a restaurant in like other European cities and you can be there for hours.
Australia's the same.
Is it?
Yeah, when you go, they love to go eat out.
As you should.
Brunches and all. It's a great outdoor life.
Yeah.
And they have that same culture where you just enjoy. Like, after you have your meal, they'll ask you, do you want a coffee? Well, and then you just feel so relaxed.
Yeah.
Maybe in the UK we're just in a rush.
See, what are we rushing for?
No,
Because do you know what? I think I must have blown my tire on like a curb or something because I was rushing. And like I got to my destination, I was like, what am I rushing for? Yeah. It's like no one's gonna get hurt if I'm gonna be 10 minutes late or do you know, like time, it's just such a weird concept to me.
It is. And I think going back to the pandemic, that's what it made me realize, this concept of time, of wanting to achieve things by a certain age, and wanting to do things.
You are resonating with me so much. Have you bugged me? You've bugged me. You've been in my house. So I said to my flatmates today, I said, it's so weird because I'm turning 25 in January.
Okay.
And for me, there were so many career goals that I had put in place that I wanted to achieve by 25. But having done this redundancy now, having gone through this redundancy, I was thinking, there's so much I want to achieve before I'm 25, such as I want to learn to play the drums. I want to become fluent in Spanish. Like all these things that I just...
Come Esther. that was a bad...
I understood you, and that's all that matters.
That's it.
But like it's weird. You have these goals that you want to hit by a certain age, and it's always around either relationships or work.
Absolutely.
And has this come from like capitalism? Is this just like what they can just sell us like careers? They can sell us.
Just put so much pressure. As women, we get so much pressure. It's like, okay, you need to get married. You need to have a child. And then once you do that, and then it's like, oh, but you also need a career. And then it's like, oh, let's have a go at the stay-at-home moms who choose to look after their children. Oh no, you're gonna
never fulfilled.
It's never ending. The pressure that women get from society. And it's just really, really unfair.
I think it does. Like this is going to be like an anti-capitalism podcast, I'm sorry. We can't hide from it, but I do think all of these issues come back to it, and it's just constantly trying to sell you something. And I think having worked in marketing, I'm so aware, like we will sell you things that we tell you will solve your insecurities that you didn't even know you had.
But these insecurities stem from childhood.
Yeah.
And it was like we were programmed to think as young girls, like, when you get to a certain age, you get married. Yeah. You have children, or you have a career. All these expectations. But what about just learning to just be happy, and feeding your mental health with good things?
But that doesn't earn the country money.
It doesn't. I think that's so important. Like, what's more important than any relationship with anybody or any career is your mental health.
Yes.
And that's so much more important than being stuck in a situation. And I know I'm talking from a place of privilege of being able to just like leave a job and have money to
Support
yourself. But it's so important because you don't know the negative that it has on your mind when you are in a situation where you're not happy.
No, like I even look back to the flat I was in before, the flat I'm in now.
Yeah.
I was miserable. Like I was paying as much, like I was paying more than I pay now. And it was a 2-bed flat in North London.
Yeah.
It was dark. It was dingy. It was tiny. It was always messy because my flatmate and her boyfriend would just like, they would cook like a fry up and then just leave that. Like neither of them worked. They were both very privileged as well. And it was just always a mess. And I was just like, I am miserable. But you don't notice in that moment the impacts that your environment has on you.
Absolutely.
And now I'm in this new flat. I'm like, I wake up and I don't feel heavy.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
like,
so lovely.
It's so scary to think. And that's why I just think, I can't imagine what it's like for people that, like you said, they have to go to work and they have to live in these environments because the impacts that has on their mental health that they're not even aware of. And even if they were aware of it, they can't change it. It's scary.
It is. And I think what I would advise those that are in that situation is to just do one act of self-love a day for yourself.
Because, self-love costs nothing. It costs absolutely nothing.
You know what I mean? And it's all about the mind and feeding that positive words of affirmation for your mind.
Yeah.
If you can't change your environment, change your mind frame.
Even just like brushing your hair, just taking 5 minutes just to brush your hair through. Yeah, like you feel so much better.
You do. You absolutely do. And I think that's so important. And I think also doing things that you love to do, whether it's something small or big, it doesn't matter. But just taking those, steps towards it is important.
Just look after yourself first.
Yeah. So 2022 is about to end.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe it?
Don't remind me.
What are some of the things that you are looking forward to for next year?
I think everyone always says it, like new beginnings, new year, new me. It's hard to mentally like start a new era of yourself just mid-year, just to wake up on a random Wednesday and be like, you know what, I'm going to change my life around today. Like that's hard because there's that mental block. So I feel like the clock strikes 12, it's the 1st of January and you're just like a new person. You're like, I've got so many opportunities to do things differently now. So I think,
what are some of the things that you would like to achieve? Career-wise, personal, in general, or things that you'd like to do?
It's such a hard question because I still have no idea what I'm doing. Like I wake up each day and I still have no idea what I'm doing. And I have this ticking clock of like my redundancy pay is going to run out in a couple months. Like I have rent to pay. So I have to figure something out quickly on how to monetize or create money to pay that. And I have no idea what that's going to be.
Do you think that's difficult, like balancing work with your passions?
Yes, I completely neglected my passions when I got my 9 to 5 because I thought, okay, social media is somewhat one of my passions. So the fact I can do this for 9 to 5, that's fine. But my sewing completely took a back. I didn't pick up my sewing machine once.
And I think that sometimes and that's what we're talking about, is those people who can't do it because of that. You think to yourself, like, I think I was watching a podcast and they were like, 9 to 5 you work, but 5 to 9 you've got time to do X, Y, and Z.
I hate this, because it's the same people that are like, I see videos online
like,
all
when
the
do you
time.
sleep?
When do you sleep? They're like, my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5, and then like my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5.
Like they'll wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym and swim.
You're not happy.
And then and they'll go to work at 7, and I'm just like, I can't do that.
It's hard. I did it for maybe, I think like.
So you tried it out?
So
you tested it out?
I was forced. So so like last month, someone had reached out to me. They like saw my sewing Instagram. It was inactive for like over a year and a half.
Okay.
But they were like, I can see you make stuff, so you're capable. So they were like, are you still doing this type of thing? I was like, not really. What are you looking for? They said they needed a dress and a coat for a gala. Bearing in mind, I've only made a bag and a top.
I love it.
And for me, like, I've never made something to fit someone else.
I love this. Okay.
So I said no, because I was like, I don't have the time for this. I'm supposed to just work, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was speaking to my friends and they were like, girl, if not now, when? Like, when are you
Yeah.
ever going to pick up your sewing machine again? Like,
Okay.
you're just never going to do it. And I was like, do you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. So I went back to her and I said, do you know what? I'm going to take this on. I'm not going to charge
You did it?
Yeah.
You took the challenge
I
on?
took it on. I didn't charge her because I was like, this is my first ever thing.
You're
If it's
so
bad,
sweet.
it's going to be bad. I don't want you
Okay.
to pay for it. I did it. So for about 2 weeks, every evening after my it's more like an
9 to
8 to
5.
6 because of the commute and like just you never
Yeah.
work a 9 to 5.
Absolutely
It's
not.
always overworking.
Yes.
So after 6 p.m, yeah, I would try and cook a bit of dinner and then I would work until like 10, 11 on this dress because I had to take her measurements to
Yeah.
then draw out the patterns. Making a pattern is not easy. I don't know how people make it look easy online. It's like a lot of maths and I was
Yeah.
not good at maths. So it's hard. It's really hard. So
Okay.
I had to do all of that and then I had to find the fabrics. I had to cut the fabrics.
And did you have to
stitch the
fund
fabrics.
all this yourself?
Yeah, so
Oh my God.
like nicely, and this is the crazy thing. So making your own clothes is not expensive. So
Okay, I
it
did
cost
not
me
know
less.
that.
So to material wise,
Yeah.
the dress and the coat cost me about £80.
What?
And to have and you would think to buy like a dress or and a coat online that is bespoke.
I mean, right now in this recession,
it would cost you so much more than that. So
Absolutely.
the materials, yeah, it's not expensive. I get it's the time. So it took me
Okay.
2 weeks solidly working every evening to get it
oh
done.
my God, you must have been tired after those 2 weeks.
So tired.
Exhausted.
And this is the thing, to do that for your whole life, to do your passion after your 9 to 5, it's not sustainable.
It's not. And I think that we live in a society that makes it sustainable. And if you're not doing it, you're not working hard enough.
We live
So
in
if you
this
don't see
hustle
success,
culture.
yeah, it's like we're always hustling. And then if you don't do it and you choose your peace of mind over it, it's like, oh, you're not working hard enough.
You feel guilty for resting.
Because you'll see people on TikTok
You do.
who are literally doing all of these things, and then you say to yourself why am I not achieving this? You
Yeah,
know?
but you need to you have to flip the perspective and think, if they can, then so can I, and just think but in my own time.
I don't want to.
Yeah, if you don't want to, that's fine.
I don't
That's
want to
totally
wake up
fine.
at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, I know that sounds really lazy.
Yeah, no, it's not lazy.
But it's I don't want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No,
to
and
go
it's
to the
in
gym
your
and
own
run
time.
and do all these things.
No.
So by 7 o'clock, I'm wide awake, and then it's
No.
okay, because I'm a writer, so I love
Yeah.
to write, and I'm always okay, I'm gonna take the time out.
Are
to
you
write.
morning or a night person?
Night person?
Okay, I've not met a night person before. I don't
Yeah.
think.
I'm all my creativity comes to me at night.
Really?
So I love to write at nighttime.
Interesting.
But I can never I'll say to myself, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write, and then I'll procrastinate. I won't do it.
So do you think maybe you could actually be a morning person if you're procrastinating
Do
at
you know
night?
what? I might try it tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Try. So my
I'll sit there, and then I'll the story is in my head, and as a writer, the story is always in your mind.
Yeah.
I'll be on a train, and then it's in my mind.
Yeah.
The story.
Do you carry a notepad with you so you can just write it down? In
I
that
do.
moment?
Sometimes I do, or I write it on my phone.
Okay.
But it lives with you. So that story and the characters are all inside your
Yeah.
head, and you're oh, I need to write this
You
now.
just need to get it out.
I need to get it out, but then it's where's the time?
Yeah. Well, the time is when you're sitting down and then you're not doing anything.
Not doing it, because then it's your mind goes blank.
But you know what? So when it came to making this dress, I made it in 2 weeks, but I had actually a month and a half to do it. But I procrastinated for so long.
Yeah.
And I think procrastination, it's there's this misconception that it's laziness and that you just can't be bothered or you're tired. But I think there's this fear of, I'm so scared. What if maybe you're sat there thinking, what if this doesn't translate on the paper the way that it is in my mind? And
Literally
that
what it
mental
is.
block
Oh my
is
God,
sort of
that
stopping
is exactly
you.
what it is. Yeah. It's I think to myself or I think, the words are not good enough.
Yeah,
I'll write something and then I'll rub it off, and I'm this is not good enough.
exactly.
And then I'll be I'll see other books on my shelf.
Yeah.
And I'm oh my God, their stories are flowing and it's not flowing for me.
Oh, but you know how many books that I've read, maybe 2 books this year, and there's been a typo in there. And I've thought, so you've written this book and then this went through your publisher and was checked and everything, and you still had to slip through. So nobody is perfect is what I'm trying to say.
True. But it's that seeking perfection thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? That we were talking about
is,
earlier, how we constantly we want to be seeking that perfection, and we don't want anything out there unless it's perfect.
But I think it's such a cliche, but the imperfect is perfect.
That's
I think.
true.
I think there's so much beauty in the process and in these
Yeah.
little
Like,
flaws
my phone is like,
going up.
I need to switch it off.
You're so popular.
I don't know who's calling my phone, but they need to like.
It's okay.
I thought I'd switched it off, and it's like. I can hear it. But yeah, no, we have this idea of like always seeking perfection. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
there's no such thing as perfection.
there isn't. And I think
No.
when I think of perfect things, connotations, I think of a circle. How boring is a circle?
That's true.
The most interesting things are imperfect.
And I think the best things that we ever create is in our time where we are being our truest selves.
Being
Do you know what I mean?
authentic, yeah.
Being authentic. That's when we create, you know.
Because I think people we have this natural pull to authenticity. I think when I see sort of like a perfect like bowl or something, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I don't like the look of it. There's something eerie about
Yeah.
perfection. And I think there's so much beauty in flaws, and flaws make the most interesting projects. I think
Absolutely.
you could write a piece, you could write a chapter, and you could think, oh, like something
Yeah.
is not like, it's not flowing the way I want it to flow. But
Yeah.
someone else could read that and think, this is the most interesting chapter
I
I've ever read, because it's not flowing in this
It's like
boring
this
way.
being an artist, I think part of whether you're a writer, a musician,
Yeah,
or you know you do design clothes or any kind of art, you always sort of doubt yourself because
You do.
your art is for you,
yeah,
isn't it? And then when you put
it
that
out
out there,
there.
you think to yourself like, will people even like it? But
Who
I
cares?
think it doesn't matter. That's not the reason. You just
cares?
have to put that sort of work out there and enjoy that.
And the right people will find it as well. I think the moment you start trying to create stuff that you think someone else will want to buy, that's when you lose yourself and it becomes, I was gonna say unenjoyable. Is that a word? Not enjoyable?
Yeah, unenjoyable. Of course, it's a word. Yes.
Yeah.
We're making it a word.
It's not fun anymore. It's unenjoyable.
It's not fun anymore, and I've realized that now. And you know, I just need to keep going and pushing myself to do. And we all should do that. Like we all should be pushing ourselves to try new things and not be afraid of what the outcome is.
No, I think I'm fully taking on this concept of like, I'm going to just do something for 2 minutes, and if I hate it, and then I'll stop. But every single time I've done it so far, the 2 minutes turns into 2 hours and I've created something amazing.
I love that. Okay, I want to ask you, if you could be any color, what color would you be?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Without hesitation. Yellow.
Why? Talk me through it.
So yellow is just, it's got so many gorgeous connotations to it. Like you can't think of yellow and feel sad unless you've had some traumatic experience that has like yellow.
That has yellow in it.
Yeah.
It's
But
just bright.
it's just bright, it's
Yeah.
happy, it's the sunshine, it's light, it's beautiful. And I think when I am out, I don't really notice people's clothes or like notice what people are wearing. But if you're wearing like a yellow rain mac, or you're wearing a yellow cap, or you have a
Yeah.
yellow bag, you stand out in the crowd and I can see you. And I just think
Absolutely.
that's like, wow, you've caught my eye. You're so cool.
I love that.
I love yellow. I don't know.
It's just one of those colors that just lifts up your mood, isn't it?
It
Like
just
you see
radiates
it and
great
it's just
energy.
like, it's true because my favorite flowers are yellow roses.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've got yellow roses in my flat right now. You need to get out of my house.
Yeah, no, I love that. I absolutely love that.
What would your color be?
Orange, but for the same
Orange,
reason.
yeah.
But orange because it's so bright.
Yeah.
And orange.
There's so many
is-
beautiful shades of orange as well.
Yeah, and I just love that it's just like it's bright, but it's not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it can be muted, but
It can be
I
muted
love like a
too.
terracotta as well, like a natural orange, like like the clay,
Yeah.
that type of.
It's beautiful. I think orange is just one of those colors for me. It's like it just brings happiness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
It
that.
So if you could smell like any perfume,
Oh my gosh.
what would you smell like?
So I'm the worst person for this because I'm not even wearing a perfume right now. So you know how I feel like women have a scent.
Do you think so?
It's all my friends and my mum and my grandma, every like woman I've ever come into contact with, you're now an anomaly. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for normalizing not having a scent. But everyone always says like you put on a perfume one day and you're like, yeah, this is my scent, this is what I want to smell like for the rest of my life, and then you just don't seem to change it. But I've never found that.
Really?
I've never found a perfume that resonates with me that I'm like, I could wear this every day and not get bored of it.
I have that, but I have it with Victor and Rolf, this perfume that there's out, which just smells like really floral. And
Okay.
like summer. And I wear it even now, but then it's not summer, I know that. But it just reminds me of summer.
I think you can still, like, florals are still in winter as well. There's that, like, freshness.
Yeah, like that flowery, like that's my favorite scent. Like anything that smells like flowery and sweet. It's just like, yeah.
I do. So it's so
Maybe
weird.
that could be your thing for 2020.
Find a scent.
Finding your
Because
scent.
I have friends on the different ends of the spectrum. So I have friends that really like the sweet, like florals, but then I have my friends that are into the ouds, the like very musky, like very strong perfume, and I'm like, this smells mature. Like it
smells. My mom had that.
Good.
She always used to wear like that.
Really?
That smell. So that was her fragrance.
Yeah.
And it's nice, but to me, it's like, I don't like it.
It's a bit overpowering.
It is, and it's like very mature, and I'm not matured. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I was just thinking actually what you just said then. It's quite nice maybe to have a scent as we get older, maybe so that like you can just smell that. Like maybe if you smell like yellow roses, you think that reminds you of someone. I think I would love someone to be in a street and someone else to be wearing my scent, and they're like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of Yazmin. Let me text her, see if she's okay.
That's so lovely though. Or sometimes the scent can make you remember a place.
Yeah.
So like your childhood, or like for me, when I smell oud, it reminds me of my childhood and my mom.
Yeah.
So it does have like
those great memories.
Yeah.
I love that. Senses are so interesting, aren't they?
They are. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on the platform and sharing your story. I'm sure we're going to see some amazing things from you.
I hope so.
On TikTok.
Thanks for having me.
And tell everybody your handles.
So I think it's just Yaz Johnson with 2 N's on the end. YAZ.
Yes,
I'm
on TikTok. So
yes, and Instagram. But I'm not really that active on Instagram. But I feel like I'm always like Yaz with a Z, and I feel like I'm very like ridiculously touchy over this. I feel like if you're Yazmin with an S, but you abbreviate your name down to Yaz with a Z, I think that's not your name.
Okay.
You're Yaz with an S.
We're putting that out there. Okay. If you're a Yazmin with a S,
you should shorten your name to Yaz with an S. That's fine.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're taking away. So I have this thing where I never meet anyone like growing up there's key rings, there's bottles, there's postcards with your name on it. I never had that. I never had like a key ring with Yazmin on it with a Z and no E on the end. So I feel like
I don't think I've seen that.
you don't. It just doesn't exist. So whenever I see online or I meet someone, I'll trademark it. Whenever I meet someone or see someone with their name spelled the same way as mine, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Yaz with a Z. Oh. And they're like, yeah, my name's Yazmin. And I'm like, that's so cool. It's like YAZMIN. Then like, it's YSMIN. And I'm like, so we're not the same.
You're not the same.
I thought I had that representation, but I don't.
Not too late.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
But sorry, that was a tangent. And
so Yazmin with a
Z.
Yes. On TikTok. No, it's been so lovely speaking with you because I think a lot of people will resonate with everything that you've shared. And you're just an all-round lovely person.
Thank you. So are you.
Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. And that's it.
Unless they're horrible, I don't want to hear your thoughts.
Oh.
Nice things only.